All right. Hey there. My name is Andrew Gotchis with One Back Offense, and we are here today with Coach Osborn from Benedictine College in Kansas. And so he's going to tell us a little bit about the program today. As you know, the purpose of the One Back Clinic is to help serve you as coaches and to serve coaches growing their brand. So Coach Osborn's going to have a great opportunity today, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Andrew, I appreciate you having me on. And again, my name is Joel Osborn. I'm the head football coach here at Benedictine College. Just finished my fourth year. We're going into year five. I graduated from a small town in Iowa called Harlan. Great history of football there. My head coach, high school coach Blatt, coached 44 years, made the semifinals 30 times, state championship 20 times, and won 12 state titles. I was fortunate to play for him. And then I went to college at Northwest Missouri State, played for a guy by the name of Mel Churchma. Mel Churchma's in the Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame, that is. And he coached there for 17 years at Northwest, won 3 national titles. And then I got my feet wet coaching for him as a GA. After my playing career, I coached there, and we won 4 national championships in my time frame there as a GA and a full-time coach. I was there for 12 years. And I got my first opportunity to be a head football coach here at Benedictine College, and we're a small Catholic school, NAI school in Atchison, Kansas, about 40 minutes from Kansas City Airport. Great tradition. The head coach before me here was Larry Wilcox. He's number 11 all-time in wins in college football. He's won 305 games, and he coached here for 42 years and played football here, coached here as an assistant, and then coached as a head coach. So he was here for a long time, and he retired, and that's when I swooped in and got the job. So Benedictine's a great place. We're a growing college. Our enrollment's the highest it's ever been. We're over 2,200 students right now. In my time frame here, and 4 years, we've won the conference 3 straight years, made the playoffs 2 of the last 3 years, and this year we finished in the national semifinals, got beat by Kaiser in a crazy back-and-forth game in the rain in West Palm Beach, and finished ranked number 3 in the country. Had a great season. We played 7 of the top 13 ranked teams in the whole country at our level. And we actually played in Texas on the road in the playoffs against Texas Wesleyan, beat them in the second round. They were undefeated. They were averaging 60 points a game. So that was a great win on the road, a great environment there at the stadium. They play at the Crowley ISD Stadium, so a great environment. And then got a chance to go to Indiana Wesleyan and beat them. Their only loss was to an FCS program. And so they were undefeated in their league, ranked number 3 in the country, and beat them on the road. So then we ended at Kaiser. So, and the team that we won the national championship at our level is in our conference, Grandview. So we played some really good programs this year.
But you're going to get me in trouble talking about Texas Wesleyan. I'm living in Fort Worth, and they're in my backyard. But no, you're right. They get to play at a state of the art complex there in Crowley, and I'm in Texas. We definitely do football at a little bit different
Yeah.
level at the high school level.
Oh, there's no doubt. It was great. You got the huge jumbotron, and we actually had we had about 1,000 fans travel to that game, so it was a great environment. So they did a good job hosting as well.
That's awesome. Yeah. The Texas hospitality is kind of like that Midwestern. It's great for players and coaches typically. And so, Coach, you've been able to be with some of the best programs at the state level, at the college level. You've been around coaches that win at a high level. What's the difference between the guy who's winning year in and year out and the coaches who are struggling to kind of find their way?
Well, I've only been around the guys who have really won. So what I can tell you is, those guys did a great job painting vision for everybody in the program. So you have to do that. Number one, you have to be able to paint vision. You have to get people to buy in. You have to have values that you believe in. Whether you call them your core values or it's your culture or whatever you term it, but you have to have those things. And then I think you got to have a mission too. So and that's a big thing. So here at Benedictine, our mission is to graduate our players, give them we have a great degree to offer here, over 50 majors, really good network of people out in the world that are leaders in their field that graduate from Benedictine. We want to win championships, and that we don't make any bones about it. I mean, this place is won at a high level. We've almost won a national championship here in our time, meaning Benedictine playing football, but we've never quite done that. And so that excites me about this place because there's room for growth. And, in my time frame at Northwest, we were In 17 years, we played in 8 national championship games. So, I mean, that was the expectation there, and then obviously in high school as well, too. So, to create that expectation, it takes a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and people developing. And so for us here, you have to believe in the developmental process to win a championship. And so, we really put that out there, and we really develop those relationships to keep our players and to have them here for their tenure. And then the last thing we talk about is developing their character, and we talk about accountability being a real thing, and that we're going to do the right thing at all times. And we're not perfect, but we're gonna hold each other accountable and try to grow as a complete person. And so we do have the spiritual side here, being Catholic. Now you don't have to be Catholic to come here, but I believe faith provides hope for a better future. And that's definitely something we have here that we can talk about openly as well. And you look at where our country's been the last 5 years, and I think that faith's growing in people big time. So, and the people aren't afraid to talk about it anymore, which is cool. So that's our mission, and I can get into talking about our culture here in a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely as a faith-based clinic, we're in lockstep with y'all on that, and we believe that this is a hard enough profession when you factor in the human side of it, and trying to do it without the Lord's help is it's definitely grasping at straws. And so using the Lord to help guide us through this profession is definitely a big part of what we do, and sounds like what y'all do at Benedictine. Coach, you mentioned culture a lot, and one of the hot takes, if you will, is that culture is an overused theme in athletics right now. It sounds like you would disagree with that. How do you see people that when somebody says to you, "Hey, culture's just overused," how would you respond to that?
I don't think you can fake it. I think it's got to be real. So for us, we don't have a bunch of signs around the building, but everybody knows our culture because we talk about it a lot. So we break it down in 3 parts. The first thing we talk about is doing things that take no talent. So TNT, takes no talent. We say it takes no talent to go to class, to be on time, to do your work, to start behind the line, to finish through the line, touch with the appropriate hand, to communicate when you have an issue. All those things that you do, those little things, basically what we're looking for is trust in each other over anything else. That's the first thing we value, is trust. And so as a player, I can't play a player unless I trust him, right? I know conversely, I was in their shoes about 20 years ago. I have to know what I'm doing as a play caller for them to play at a high level, because they got to trust what we're doing offensively or defensively or on special teams. And then they got to trust their teammates, and then when football is a big organization, you got athletic trainers, you got performance staff, you got your academic support. So it's got to be trust across the board. And so that's the first thing we value. And then the second thing we value is we talk about 1/11. So in football, you got 11 guys that play in offense, defense, or special teams. Well, you're only one. And so when we say do your 1/11, it means do your job. And really, that's where the player development side of it comes into play, right? And so you can't do your job at a high level unless you trust your teammates or the coaches. So you got to have the trust first. But if you're always recruiting kids to come in and transfer in to be playing over your guys that you've recruited initially, how are you developing anybody? And so from my standpoint, our basis of our foundation for recruiting high school kids, we will find transfers here or there to fill our needs, but 93% of our roster is high school. And so that's a little bit of a flip from what you see going at the higher levels. But for us, that works. And so we had 45 players on our roster last year in 2024 that have been with us for 4 or more years. 32 of those graduated. 13 of them are coming back for their last year. And so you have those relationships. Those are actually real. When you know what's going on in a kid's life, in a young man's life, and you can help him grow day by day, month by month, semester by semester, year by year. And so then you see a kid from when he's a redshirt freshman to the time he's a junior, he's a much different player. From the time he's a sophomore to senior, he's a much different player. And so that's been exciting for us here. And so we're big on player development. But in my mind, as a head coach, you can't be a player development program unless you give those guys actually a chance to develop. And that's a big sales pitch for us in recruiting. And then the last thing we talk about is A&E, short for attitude and effort. And those are the only two things that you and I and we have control over. And so how we respond is going to determine the outcome. So we're looking for people who are positive. All right. Nobody likes to be around people who are not fun to be around. Okay. So every day it's a challenge for me to come into the office. The guys need to know that I can do they can trust me. I can do my job at a high level, and it's a fun place to be. So I got to set that temperature every day. So like, I got to be consistent, right? And model that. And then everybody else has got to be held accountable. So the position coaches got to hold their guys accountable. The coordinators got to hold their guys accountable. So it's a process. It's not easy. But I think if you look at, year in, year out, who's winning games, they have that culture that everybody in the building knows about. And it's real, it's real.
That's awesome. Yeah. So culture is definitely something that can permeate your building, the field house, on the field, off the field, kids, coaches. You mentioned trainers. You mentioned all the other pieces that come with a high school program or a college program. We're not their students and their athletes, right? And so we have the academic side and the athletic side. But part of winning also takes place on the field. And so as y'all are going through practice, as y'all are preparing on the field, the physical side. So we've heard a lot of the mental and emotional side of it. As far as the physical preparation piece, do you think there's anything y'all do practice wise that separates y'all selves from the programs that y'all beat throughout the year?
I think the consistency of how we model our program, kids know what to expect. We're not jumping in and out of doing different things. So we have a good roadmap to do things. I came from the Northwest coaching tree of Coach Churchma and Boswick and Doral and Wright and those guys that did it really well for a long time. So the kids know what to expect. We will mix things up a little bit, but Tuesdays, they know what practice is going to be like. And they know it's going to be a physical day. Wednesdays, they know it's going to be a physical day as well, too. And Tuesdays, there's going to be more mistakes because that's your install day. And Wednesday, you got to clean up. And then Thursday, we're in shells and we're everybody's staying up. It's a little lighter, but you're still practicing hard. And and then we have and Friday's our walkthrough. And then Saturday, let's rock and roll. And then Sunday, we bring them back in and we do our film review and our flush workout and then Monday's day off. Guys get a chance to get back to academics and get their week set. So that consistency is there. And then from my standpoint, I really like our year-long plan. It starts in January when you get back from Christmas break. And you get in the weight room and we go about 3 weeks of just weights. And then we go about 3 weeks of weights and running. And then we get into spring ball, and then spring ball gets done. And then you've got about a month as a coach to get organized for recruiting, to get on the road to spring recruiting. It drives everything to our summer camps. In that time frame, our kids are finishing up in the weight room and finishing academically so they can focus there. It's a balance. We're working hard, but there's a little bit of a balance there, right? And then in the summer, the one thing I think that separates us, we get the majority of our players to stay here in the summer voluntarily. We don't have the ability to, house, classes, stipends. We don't have that. But the guys are here. They're a volunteer army. And they find a way to do it, and they have jobs, and they live together, and they have a lot of fun, and they train hard, and so then we hit fall camp, we're ready to go. And then the one thing else, Coach, I've done, as our staff has done, is we've gone out and scheduled hard. I mean, we felt like we need to elevate our program, and so we went out and found who we thought was the best program at our level, meaning Morningside, and we called them, and they agreed to play us, and we've played them now 2 years. They beat us the first year. We beat them the second year, and we got them for 2 more years. But I feel like that elevated us to be able to go on the road and beat Texas Wesleyan, to be on the road and beat Indiana Wesleyan, and to be right there with Kaiser.
That's awesome. So Sounds like a lot of consistency and a lot of communication, and then kind of a third principle, third takeaway is not shying away from the challenge, not shying away from the hard work, but willing to put in what it takes. Coach, two more questions for you. What does it take to be a football player at Benedictine? If we have a coach watching, before they reach out to you and say, "Hey, we have a guy for you," what does that guy that they're about to share with you? What should that guy have?
Right. I think the football players come in all shapes and sizes, right? That's a great thing about our sport. But from a standpoint of, what we're looking for guys who, that can be difference makers. Now at our level, you're going to have guys who are going to be difference makers on the field. You're going to have guys who be difference makers off the field, right? But they got to be good students, good people, and really good players. I mean, the first thing we evaluate is does their tape pop, and then the second thing is their grades, and then the third thing is their character reference, and that's a part of your academics, right? That's going to be a part of it. Normally, good students aren't bad people, so that's a big piece to it. The thing on our college that's unique is we're still in-person classes. Like a lot of people are doing online classes now. We're still in person. I get emails if kids miss class, that I'm telling you, it's old school. It's pretty unique. But it's people crave that deep down. They want that discipline, that structure. They want to be guided, and pushed to be the best they can be. And I think we have that here, so it's a great place to work from a family environment standpoint. We get a lot of family time and get to coach my boys. Me and my wife, we've been married for this summer 15 years. We got 4 children. So coach my boys. I got three boys that are very active in sports, and we got our youngest is a daughter. So they play about anything and everything you can imagine.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Definitely seeing more coaches step up to be a dad and step into the role of husband and father, and not just the role of coach. That's so important in our career field because you can be the head coach one day and have a for sale sign in your yard the next. And so at the end of the day, though, your family's traveling with you. That job won't always be with you, but your family will be. And so investing that time is crucial. Coach, if we have coaches who want to get in touch with you, maybe they have a kid they want you to recruit, or man, you talked about how your year-long plan makes you different. You really think is a difference maker for your school. How can a coach get in touch with you and get some of those resources?
Oh, absolutely. They can reach out to me. My email is josborn@benedictine.edu. So it's JOSBORN at benedictine.edu. And they can find me online too. And I've got X account, and so you can reach out to me either way.
And Coach, I appreciate your time jumping on with us. Just from the little bit I've gotten to talk to you, I know you're a kid. You're a coach that if I had a kid ready to go to the next level, I could trust him in your program, and I think that speaks a lot about you and the program you're building. Guys, if you ever get a chance to go check out Coach Osborn and his program in Benedictine up in the awesome state of Kansas, y'all go take advantage of that opportunity. Send your kids to go play for somebody who's going to develop them not just on the field but off the field as well. And then another chance to grow is we have a clinic May 31st coming up in Texas, more than likely in the city of Waco. We would love to have y'all register. If registration fee is a problem, reach out to us. Let us know. We're about growing coaches and growing the coaching community. And so money is definitely not our driver. And we'd love to see you there in Waco, May 31st. Coach Osborn, thanks for jumping on with us today.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, Coach.
Yes, sir. We'll see you. We'll talk to you soon. One Back Nation, we appreciate you.